please tell something about Gautami Putra Satkarni, one of the greatest rulers of India, I believe, and how Satvahanas pose challenges to the belief that India has always been a patriarchal society. Okay, the Satvahanas. I've never really had a question on Satvahanas. So, the Satvahana dynasty was also known as the Andhra dynasty. They ruled in between the third century BC and the first or second centuries BC, yeah, in southern and central India. It, at its greatest extent, it incorporated parts of Saurashtra, Gujarat, Western Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, etc. Big, big. If you look at the size of the greatest extent of the Satvahana Empire, it was roughly the size of Germany and Spain put together. Big, big, big. Its capital city was Pratishthan, modern day Paithan in Maharashtra. And they were very good, great patrons of arts and culture and Hinduism and Buddhism and whatnot. Literature, they built supas and lots of things. And what does Satvahan mean? The word Satvahan is the Prakrit form of the Sanskrit term Saptavahana. And what is Saptavahana? The chariot of the sun, which is driven by 7 horses. So indirectly, they are implying that they belong to the Surya Vansh, the solar dynasty, right? So the greatest king, obviously, was Gautami Putra Satkarni. He was the son of Queen Gautami Balashri. He lived in the first or second century AD, and he is said to have defeated lots of people: the Shakas or the Scythians, the Yavanas, the Pahallavas, and various other people. And his extraordinary conquests are and achievements are described in enormously great detail, very great detail, in the Nashik inscription of his mother. Now, one of his greatest rivals was the great was the Western satraps empire, the great Mahakshatrapas of Western India, who ruled the region of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, parts of Maharashtra, parts of Sindh, and so on and so forth. So it is believed possibly that Gautami Putra Satakarni may have defeated the great Mahakshatrapa Nahapana. And this belief comes from the known fact that many of Nahapana's coins are superimposed with Gautami Putra Satakarni's inscriptions. But that doesn't conclusively prove that this actually happened. Maybe it is possible or even likely that Gautami Putra Satakarni may have lived 1 or 2 generations after Nahapana. Overall, if you see, Nahapana was one of the greatest of rulers of Western India, or possibly all of India, possibly even greater than Gautami Putra Satakarni. But Gautami Putra Satakarni himself was one of the great rulers of India. He had two sons, Vashishthi Putra Pulavami and Vashishthi Putra Satakarni. And then after him, the empire slowly declines. His son married the daughter of the Mahakshatrapa Rudradaman I, and he still entered into conflicts with Rudradaman. He was twice defeated by his father-in-law. Each time he lost territory, but he was spared because of the family relationship, and so on. And eventually, the empire declined and disintegrated over time. The last ruler of the empire was Yajna Shri Satakarni, who lived most likely in the 2nd century AD. But overall, the greatest ruler of the Satvahanas was Gautami Putra Satakarni, who had significant major achievements and who was a great patron of arts and culture and religion and literature, who built supas and things, who did public works. So one of the great rulers for sure. So that's an interesting chapter of Indian history that is typically not really well known. And it's something that I speak about in my course.